Hello, Dr. Wong and the Library Committee. It is with great pleasure that I propose an instructional session to you and the Information Literacy team at the Cal Poly Pomona University Library. As a diverse commuter university in the Los Angeles area with over 20,000 students, the student body has many needs that require attention and services to strengthen the academic success of the community. In fact, one possibly overlooked need comes from older adult students, ages 40 and above, who struggle with using certain technological tools to perform at the capacity of their digital native peers. Therefore, Cal Poly Pomona students would benefit from instructional sessions focusing on the use of Microsoft PowerPoint, which will be available at no cost in the University Library's Information Literacy Lab. In this presentation, I will be discussing the following key points. Topic of instructional design plan, which includes a brief description of the unit of instruction, an instructional analysis, an instructional strategy, and a development of instructional materials and learning objects. First, the purpose of this instruction includes targeting adults ages 40 and older who are attending a university. An instructional design plan will assist this group in creating their own PowerPoint presentation for any class and any professional setting onward. With a Microsoft PowerPoint instructional tutorial, university students ages 40 and older will benefit as potential learners, since this demographic of students have a tendency to exist in a pool of technological natives who find PowerPoint nearly second nature and do not struggle, which can be an intimidating environment. Since potential learners may already know how to choose appropriate images, narrow down concise and important information, and deliver in public with visual guides, the technology component and the use of a foreign program like PowerPoint is the main focus. By learning these planned concepts and skills, older students will develop the confidence to tackle any PowerPoint optional or required assignment in his or her college career, as well as use this tool in a professional setting. Time necessary to learn these skills is dependent on every person, ranging from one instructional sitting to years of practice. In addition, materials that already exist to support this instruction include computers and the program available at every university. Therefore, anyone with a computer, tablet, or access to the library will have the means to learn and practice this skill. Lastly, I would be the best person to design this instruction, relying on empathy from experience with this tool in multiple class and professional settings, as well as the library background to offer simple, helpful tutorials. Other designers can include other librarians proficient with design, as well as instructional designers. However, teaching this tutorial can span to not just librarians and instructional designers, but other university faculty and even student assistants and tutors with enthusiasm, interest, and public speaking skills to undergo appropriate training and preparation to deliver this instruction. Next, I want to review an instructional analysis I conducted that includes several points to consider: a task analysis, mastery, and moving at one's own pace. Throughout this instructional design, first with a task analysis, it requires the students to break materials into smaller units where I would clarify terms and definitions, teach individual units, and use visuals, phrases, keywords. I would speak in summaries and concise terms for the learners so that they may easily understand and keep their attention. Second, it's important to follow how mastery at each level serves with each individual learner. Touching base, observing which steps in instruction are more challenging than others, observing which skills learners already possess, and acknowledge them, using this to help, and offering help to reach mastery if necessary, setting aside time to walk through harder steps and concepts with learners with a one-to-one approach. And lastly, acknowledging that moving at one's own pace is critical. I would not let learners proceed to the next level if they have not mastered preceding ones. I would ask the learners questions and encourage questions. I would validate and acknowledge their progress, and I perform final check for mastery of a completed task, later encouraging independent learning to make mistakes and self-sufficiently correct themselves. Evaluation is also an important tool. An effective way to evaluate whether the learners have the minimal level of knowledge or skills needed to begin proposed instruction would start with a brief questionnaire resembling the following up on the screen. Furthermore, inviting an open, casual discussion about one's technological anxiety may alleviate the stress of PowerPoint ignorance, especially if I add comic relief and self-experiences, making the sessions more lighthearted. Learners will then feel more comfortable opening up, encouraging them later to ask more questions when using the tools hands-on. Now, in order to move forward, one must know what the performance objectives include. Learners ages 40 and older will be able to create their own PowerPoint presentations for school or for professional settings. They will confidently be able to start with a blank presentation, navigate the various icons, create their own titles, select their own formats, color schemes, fonts, and aesthetics. Learners will be able to use the internet to find images useful for visual interpretation of their words. They'll learn tips and tools for creating a clean, crisp, engaging presentation, such as the art of being concise and choosing colors that do not put off the eyes. In addition, learners will be able to present the slideshow and click forward and backward between slides. Now, in order to demonstrate that learners have met the goals of the instruction, these learners will be asked to create a brief 5-slide presentation about a hobby they enjoy. The instructional session will include lab time for work on their project and a time to ask questions, followed by a presentation portion to end the instructional session. This enables learners to pull ideas from others, making the experience more interactive. In addition, learners will be asked to fill out an ending questionnaire, noting their learning experiences and including anything they wish to see or felt needed improvement. Next, we need to approach any instructional strategies throughout this process. First, motivation. It includes patience, grade incentives, and of course, sweet treats. First, given the nature of older learners, patience appears to be the #1 ingredient to motivate them. Since the use of PowerPoint along with the use of technology, both of which may be foreign and intimidating to this group, it is critical to be empathetic and offer affirmations and encouragement. Frustrated learners are less likely to move forward if they feel their needs are not receiving attention. Furthermore, the incentive of attaching grades to their work will motivate learners to complete the assignments and complete them well. The intrinsic feeling of success through a high score is validating and encouraging. Lastly, the little things serve as incentives to push learners, such as sweet treats. Small sugary rewards add an air of lightheartedness to the learning experience, giving older learners a bit of peace of mind as they conquer the topic. But before this session, there are necessary entry behaviors that must serve as a threshold prior to entering this instructional design. In order to learn at the pace set for the instruction, learners need to go into the instruction with working knowledge of how to use a computer by turning on a computer and its components, including the monitor, the modem, and other components, using a mouse, opening up a web page, having a working email address and being able to use the email, use a keyboard and type at least 20 to 35 words per minute, minimize and close the screen, and save work onto their computer. In addition, learner participation is important to ensure that learners are engaged and continuing to thrive in the design. Instruction is intended to be interactive, serving with a learn by doing theme. Learners will be given basic tutorials during the first half of instruction, leaving the last half of instruction for lab time, where learners can work independently, asking questions for their personal project. Learners will be able to participate in instruction by asking open questions for the group, as well as sharing their presentations at the end of the instruction session. In regards to testing and assessment, grade incentives will be offered in order to motivate learners to deliver their best work. However, this class is also open to a pass, no pass grade, as well as a credit, no credit status. At the end of the session, evaluation will be through a personal 5-minute conference meeting to discuss strengths and weaknesses. Feedback will be given in a paragraph form as if conversational. Key points of evaluation will include creativity, design, use of graphics, and technical proficiency. Testing and assessing learner success or failure enables me as the instructor to know my strengths and weaknesses of my learners in order to improve instruction for next time. It shows whether or not I am supporting independence among my learners or if I am simply serving as a crutch for them. In addition, it speaks volumes about learner behaviors, which will carry over into other instructional settings, similar or different from this one. Now, regarding follow-through activities, it is important to gather information at the beginning of the session, such as a working email address and other information that is disclosed by the students based on their choice, such as their place of employment, the school they are attending, their department and major, etc. And this offers follow-up paths. First, a follow-up email can be sent to the student 6 months after the session, and a year later at different intervals. I, as the instructor, can check on the students to see how they are improving and progressing, or perhaps they have given up altogether. It also builds the reputation that I, as the instructor, care about how successful my students have continued to become afterward. In addition, with the permission of my students, follow up with employers to see how effectively they have applied their learning skills. For instance, this is probably more prone to permission if the instruction has been funded by the employer. It is a way to hear another perspective or other ways to improve. Supervisors and other instructors can give insight on how they see learners' behavior is continuing. Next, it is important to consider the development of instructional materials and the learning objects. I have used the University of North Carolina's Community Workshop Series handouts noted in the link below as a reference point for you after this presentation. You can access it by scrolling down to the section that says Doing More with PowerPoint. The tools and materials that will be most helpful include handouts, which will offer adult learners a familiar, tangible tool to assist them with their learning experience. This tool will be evaluated based on its ability to convey the guided information in a clear, concise manner, where adults do not need lots of clarification and the information is self-explanatory. Furthermore, YouTube videos are important because they will offer older adults with pre-made videos in shorter, more concise segments that convey the message using synonymous terms that will increase their understanding of the material if the instruction is not clear. The effectiveness of engaging learners by eliciting humor or attracting attention through the videos will be compared to in-class step-by-step engagement. This will force me as the instructor to consider, are YouTube videos enough? Do I even need to be here as the instructor? Lastly, it is important to see how the implementation of the instructional design plan will be executed. In order to successfully implement this instructional design, the reference librarian, staff, and Poly Pomona faculty must be well informed on the details of the program. In a practical situation, this may include a brief flyer, a brief informative announcement by the librarians and/or instructional design team in the classrooms who choose to participate, or marketing through social networks such as Facebook and Instagram. Since the Poly Pomona campus is brimming with activities and events, busybodies need a way of relaying and receiving the information in order for students to attend the sessions. Furthermore, interested faculty members can choose to implement the instructional design by including a session as part of one of their next class periods the following quarter, where students who feel proficient with PowerPoint have the option to attend or take a free day. This serves as a practical situation since many students do not have much free time in their schedules to attend the instructional sessions, since they're swamped with work, other classes, and other obligations. Therefore, setting aside time during class time benefits students who only have time for that class but still need the added support. Lastly, the instructional design plan can be implemented by recruiting and training a peer instructional team who will receive either paid work-study compensation, internship hours, and/or a letter of recommendation for their assistance. With other students involved in the effort, older adult learners will receive more one-to-one attention and feel less intimidated by the material, as well as the pace the class is going. In addition, with more students involved, word of mouth will spread, and more students who are unaware of these services will hear about it, inquire, and sign up for the instruction. To conclude, there are several ideal outcomes that I hope to achieve that will benefit Cal Poly Pomona and the greater Los Angeles community. There will be more equity among students and their skills, barring no generational gaps. There will be more confidence in returning students and older adults who have technological anxiety. There will be more engaging time periods in class or work dedicated to stimulating and improved presentations. And lastly, there will be more enthusiasm overall to try emerging technologies. You are welcome to email me or talk to me after this presentation for more information. I look forward to your feedback and I look forward to working with you soon. Thank you.